at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. Erislandy Lara matching up against Thomas Lamana in that one. That's the headlining fight on that particular card. So, and now we are all set and ready to go as we get ready for a matchup at 154 pounds on Saturday, May 1st. This man, 30 wins, 27 of those coming by way of knockout against 4 losses. Longtime contender, put himself back into world title contention when he defeated Thomas Lamana in January of 2020 in Philadelphia. Bounced back with 2 straight wins after back-to-back losses to top super welterweights Tramel Charlo and Jason Rosario. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jorge Cota. Jorge.
Hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, ya. Aquí presentándonos a la conferencia.
Kelly, do you want me to translate that, or do we have a translator on the call?
Oh, go ahead.
He said, hello, I want to send a very, good afternoon to everybody and very excited to be here. And the man that he's going to be fighting is literally and figuratively a tall task. As you go ahead and look at him, I believe he stands 6 feet 6 inches tall, 16 wins, no losses, 1 draw, 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Just 23 years of age, fighting out of Coachella, California, continuing to make his rise up the super welterweight rankings. He blasted out Habib Ahmed back in December on the undercard of Spence and Garcia down in Arlington, Texas at AT&T Stadium. Please welcome the towering inferno, Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian.
How you doing? How you guys doing? I'm excited to be on this card and excited to have be part of the Cinco de Mayo legacy.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. Now I will turn it over to Andrew Roberts. If you have any questions, make sure to raise your hand. And also, those of you who speak in Spanish, if you can ask your question in Spanish and then ask it in English as well, that way we get across both platforms. So turn it over to Andrew Roberts from Swanson Communications.
All right, thanks very much, Ray. And as a reminder, for any media that have questions for Jorge and Sebastian, please hit that raise hand icon. We'll start off with Ernesto Amador. Ernesto, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you. Hola demonio, te saludo Ernesto Amador de No Puedes Jugar Boxeo. Sabemos que vas ante un peleador altísimo, complicado, que no ha perdido, y puede ser una de tus oportunidades, la más importante y quizá de las últimas para buscar algo, un título. ¿Qué significa esta pelea para ti?
Bueno, yo creo que pues no creo que la más importante, ¿no? Porque pues también tuvo la pelea con Rosario, la pelea con Charlotte, peleadores de mucho nivel, de mucha categoría. Pero claro, creo que en este momento es una pelea muy, muy importante para mí, para todo mi equipo, porque pues sabemos que es un muchacho que viene invicto y pues también quiere ganar, ¿no? Entonces, vamos por todas las...
Inés, do you want to translate what you said or what you asked? Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and translate that. They asked Jorge Cota, how he's feeling, sensing that this might be one of his final opportunities to be able to go ahead and compete at a very high level. This is a very big fight for him. And he said, look, he's fighting an undefeated fighter who's very tough and talented, but he's, brought his best. He's been training very hard, and he's excited for May 1st.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Ernesto and Ray. Our next question is going to come from Jake Donovan. Jake, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Great, thanks, Andrew. My question is pretty much for both fighters. Sebastian, I'll start with you. You were actually supposed to fight Jorge back in December. Has training camp been any different for you for this fight, or did you just kind of pick up where you left off?
We just picked up where we left off. I started that Monday. After that fight, we started running again. I didn't really take no time off. We were getting ready to go into our second camp for Jorge.
Okay, great. Thanks, Sebastian. And then same question for Jorge, pretty much.
What's your question again, Jake? Sorry about that.
So he basically trained. He was supposed to fight Sebastian back in December. Obviously he had to pull out of the fight for health reasons. If the training camp has basically been the same as when he was supposed to fight him a few months ago.
Jorge, tuviste una pelea contra Sebastian Fundora, pero la pelea no pasó. ¿Cómo estuviste en campamento para esta pelea contra Sebastian Fundora? Era muy similar en preparación para Fundora.
Sí, de hecho, pues es un campamento muy similar al que tuvimos la vez pasada. Desafortunadamente, pues por lo del COVID no se dio la pelea. Creo que los dos nos quedamos con ganas de enfrentarnos. Estamos aquí en Tucson y estamos haciendo el mejor trabajo que podemos, ¿no? Creo que no hay mucho que moverle al campamento, a la preparación. Es algo muy similar a lo que hicimos la vez pasada.
He said nothing is much different compared to the preparation as we did prior to, when we were supposed to fight him in December. But obviously the fight didn't happen, due to COVID and everything else. But, him and I were supposed to fight in December. We both have, we both want to fight each other. Thankfully, the fight has been salvaged. But, we're here in Tucson getting in good work. And the camp is very similar to how it was before my fight was derailed against him in December.
All right, great. Thanks very much, Jake and Ray. Our next question is going to come from Mike Rosenthal. Mike, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hey guys, thanks a lot, appreciate it. Question for both guys. Jorge, you actually had the coronavirus. How bad was it, and how long until you were 100% again?
Jorge, tuviste COVID-19. ¿Cómo te sentías? Si era mal para ti teniendo COVID-19.
Bueno, la verdad no sentí ningún síntoma. Lo único que me dio fue un poco de tos seca. Lejos de eso, pues todo me sentía muy bien, la verdad. Creo que no pasó, no mayores, gracias a Dios.
He said, honestly, the only thing I had was a bit of a cough, but that was it. I mean, I didn't have many symptoms, and thankfully, I don't feel any ill effects from COVID-19.
Thank God, that's great. Question for Sebastian. With your height, Sebastian, everybody always wonders about the weight issue. You've mentioned that you could actually make 47 if you wanted to. Is that true? And how is it even possible? Is it difficult for you to maintain weight?
I mean, if I wanted to, I'm pretty sure I could squeeze myself to 147, but I walk at my weight. It's not a problem for me. This camp was probably easier than the last camp, especially that the summer's coming in and the heat's coming in, so I just naturally walk at this weight. It's not a problem for me.
All right, great. Thanks, Mike. Our next question is going to come from John Cudney. John, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. John?
Sorry, yeah, having some problems with the app there. Okay, so first question for Jorge, if you can help me out, Ray. Jorge, Sebastian has, extremely unusual height and reach. Just wondering if you can talk about your preparation for the fight in terms of sparring or anything else, and if you have a confident game plan to deal with his, extraordinary height and reach.
Jorge, Sebastian Fundora es muy alto y tiene la ventaja con el alcance. ¿Cómo estás preparando para peleando contra Sebastian Fundora? ¿Cómo era tu sparring?
Es muy alto, muy alto. Creo que pues, es difícil encontrar un sparring con sus características, la verdad, pero creo que estamos en mismas circunstancias. Él también va a batallar para encontrar un sparring con mis características. Creo que la pelea, pues, no sería muy infantil decir que voy a tratar de boxear a Fundora. Es un hombre muy alto, que sabe manejar muy bien su distancia, y yo creo que no es un secreto que desde que suene la campana vamos a salir al toma y daca, ¿no? Desde el primer round.
I think there's no secret that when the bell rings, we're going to come after each other. And when it comes to Sebastian Fundora, yeah, he's really tall, and it's rather difficult to find sparring partners that have some of his characteristics. But, I'm very confident in what we've been able to do in camp in trying to find guys that have similar things that the physical attributes that Sebastian Fundora has. So it's about finding guys that have similar physical attributes compared to that of Fundora, but that's not easy.
Okay, thank you very much, Jorge. So a couple of questions here for Sebastian. So Jorge has been in with the very top of the division. In recent years, fought Jermell Charlo and Jason Rosario. Just wondering if you can talk about, if you're looking forward to this as an opportunity to compare yourself against the very best in the division.
Definitely. With every fight, we want to compare, and we're looking to get that shot at becoming a champion in division. So with every fight, we want to present ourselves as on championship level.
Okay, thanks. And I just want to say also, as a final question, over the course of just speaking to you through the media over the last number of years, it's extremely audible in your voice, your level of confidence, how it's grown. I mean, to some extent, it seems like a boy has become a man. Just want to talk about your confidence level in the division and, confidence as a fighter, how it's grown, and how soon you think you'll be able to take on the top of the division.
Yeah, it's nice that you mentioned that, because I like to think that too, that I've grown with more confidence in the interviews, and that if anything was hard in boxing, it was definitely this part of it. And yeah, I like to think that I've grown with that, and we'll just see what the future has for us with the competition we have. We don't really have a say in that, but whatever they put in front of us, we'll definitely take it on.
All right, thanks, John. Our next question is going to come from Jose Camarillo. Jose, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
¿Qué tal, demonio? ¿Qué tal, Sebastián? Esta pregunta es para el demonio. Si en su recorrido ha peleado con un rival que se parezca, no digo que es imposible que tenga la misma estatura, pero que le recuerde el estilo de Fundora por la gran ventaja que tiene en alcance y su estilo.
Sí, de hecho hace aproximadamente 2 años, creo que 2 años, peleé con un muchacho de ahí de Obregón, Sonora, que igual, zurdo y muy alto la verdad, que de hecho estábamos planeando contratarlo para que fuera mis sparrings, pero desafortunadamente las circunstancias no se dieron y pues no pudo, y ya pues nos tuvimos que venir para acá, para Tucson.
Y para esta pelea tú sabes que él va a salir, obviamente como tú dijiste, sería de niños pensar que lo vas a boxear, entonces tú tienes de que arriesgar todo. Esta pelea va a ser explosiva y puede terminar pronto.
Sí, la verdad sí, creo que va a ser muy explosiva. Creo que la gente va a estar parada en la butaca, no van a estar sentados, porque creo que espero y los estilos tanto de él como el mío se adapten, porque pues vamos a salir al choque. Al menos yo voy a salir al choque, voy a salir al frente, y pues a buscar ganar.
Y esto nomás es para Sebastián. Yo escuché de que habló él al principio algo en español, y me parece que quizá me pueda entender, y si no, pues me dicen para cambiarlo para inglés. Sebastián, ¿estás consciente de lo que dijo hace un momento Cota? ¿Tú estás preparado también porque sabes que él va a salir a noquear en los primeros rounds?
Sebastian, do you understand Spanish or no?
Can I respond to it in English?
Yeah, you can respond to it in English. That's not a problem and stuff. But if you want to go ahead and translate what he asked you, and then I'll go back after you're done to talk about what Jorge said.
Can you translate for me?
¿Quiere la pregunta otra vez? ¿Que va a ser una guerra y está listo para la pelea? ¿Eso es la pregunta?
Exactamente, para noquear o ser noqueado. To get a KO or to get KO.
Okay, go ahead, Sebastian.
Yeah, I know that. I know that this fight, they say he has a lot of power. His record shows it. But we're prepared for everything. I'm ready for war. We're ready for a boxing match. Anything that he brings, we're ready for it. But I'm more than sure to tell you that I'm ready to win too.
Okay, thank you very much, Sebastian. And then I'm going to go back and respond to the question that he had asked Jorge. He asked Jorge if over the course of his career, if he's fought anybody that resembles the style of Sebastian Fundora. Jorge's response is, a couple years ago, I fought a guy down in Sonora who was a southpaw and who was tall. So I did fight someone that was some similar physical attributes like Sebastian Fundora. Then they had a follow-up question about if Jorge is looking forward to fighting a toe-to-toe battle against Sebastian Fundora. Jorge's response, this is a fight that the fans at Dignity Health Sports Park are going to be on their feet. This fight could end at any one moment. It's no secret that we're going to come out and we're going to be throwing leather. I'm going to try to knock him out. He's going to try to knock me out. We'll see what happens on May 1st.
All right. Thanks, Ray, and thanks, Jose, for your questions. Our next question is going to come from Carlos Toro. Carlos, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. First going to Sebastian, then I'll move on to Jorge. Sebastian, you've been on this great run, knocking out Nathaniel Gallimore and Habib Ahmed. You've spoken a little bit ago about the confidence that you're carrying now. As a boxer, do you feel like you're now finally hitting that stride where you're now, no longer fighting prospects and now elevated yourself into being a contender, to sort of view this fight against Jorge as that natural next step and sort of eventually looking to contend for a title?
Oh, definitely. I felt that right after I beat Gallimore. I felt the levels of competition changed to fighting prospects to fighting elite fighters. So with these last two fights, I felt that confidence really boost me up and push me higher in this division.
Jorge, I'll ask the question in English, then I'll ask it in Spanish. Jorge, when this fight was first announced, again, for May 1st, you said that in the official press release that you're kind of treating this fight like it's do or die for your career. And do you kind of view this as maybe that last chance to sort of impress on a big stage and remain in contention for a title? Is that the mentality that you are approaching this fight with? Jorge, cuando esta pelea se anunció para el 1 de mayo, tú dijiste en el anuncio oficial que tú estás tratando esta pelea como si fuese vida o muerte para tu carrera, y tú estás mirando a esta pelea como quizás esa última oportunidad para quedarte en contención para un título, y quizás eso sea la mentalidad que ya estás trayendo a las peleas.
Sí, así es. De hecho, ahorita hace un momento comenté algo, pero creo que se interpretó mal. Me dijeron que yo busqué el knockout en los primeros rounds. Jamás mencioné un knockout en los primeros rounds. Dije que saldría del primer round con todo. Creo que Fundora es un peleador fuerte, resistente. No creo que caiga con un solo golpe. Voy preparado para los 12 asaltos de guerra, y me preparo así porque mentalmente soy fuerte, soy fuerte físicamente, y creo que pudiera ser la última oportunidad que se me dé en estos niveles, ¿no? Entonces creo que voy a subir con todas las ganas de ganar, con todas las ganas de convencer.
I'm going to go into the ring with, my full intention, with my best preparation, and my, I want to go out and get this victory. I understand what this fight means to my career. I prepared myself mentally and physically for a fight of this magnitude. I prepared myself and am constantly preparing myself to go the full 12 rounds. But at the same time, I realize that this fight could end at any one moment.
All right. Thanks very much, Carlos and Ray, for translating. Our next question is going to come from Kenyon Atchison. Kenyon, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Okay, my first question is for Jorge. You were coming off a knockout of Cornflake. How frustrating was it missing out on the fight originally with Sebastian in December? And how long before you went back into training after contracting COVID?
And Jorge, después de poniendo o agarrando el COVID, ¿cuánto tiempo regrese al gimnasio para ponerte en el gimnasio para el boxeo? ¿Qué era el tiempo para regresar?
30 días.
30
Después de
days.
que me 30 días más o menos.
Yeah, about a month is what happened. And then what was also your question again about if it was frustrating, missing out on the opportunity to fight Sebastian Fundora? That was the question, right?
Correct.
Okay, ¿cómo te sentías ganando contra La Mana o Cornflake La Mana en enero, pero perdiendo la oportunidad para pelear contra Fundora en diciembre porque el COVID?
Bueno, pues muy mal la verdad, porque pues con La Mana pues obviamente me sentí contento por haber ganado, obtenido un triunfo convincente, y después que no pude pelear contra Fundora por lo del COVID, me sentí muy triste, la verdad, muy mal, porque tenía ya varias semanas aquí en Tucson, lejos de mi familia, lejos de mi hijo, lejos de mi tierra, trabajando duro, trabajando fuerte. Entonces sentí que todo mi trabajo se fue a la basura, no sirvió de nada, ¿no? Pero gracias a Dios ya pasamos esa etapa.
So I felt really good after defeating La Mana and having a convincing victory. And as I was preparing for Fundora in December, I was putting in a lot of good work in Tucson. I was away from my family. I was away from my home country in Mexico, and we were getting good work in. And to be honest with you, yeah, it did make me sad that I had to pull out of the fight due to COVID, but thankfully the fight has been saved, and now I get that opportunity on May 1st.
All right, thanks very much for your questions, Kenyon. All right, Ray, if we could please get the closing comments from Sebastian and Jorge, we're going to move on to Abel and Omar.
Okay, Jorge, últimas palabras para tu pelea contra Sebastian Fundora.
Bueno, pues que la gente se prepare porque va a ser una guerra. Yo siento que es una pelea que se puede robar la noche, porque Fundora es un boxeador que le gustan los golpes, le gusta fajarse, le gusta también tirar madrazos, como decimos en México, y a mí pues es lo que me encanta, me fascina. Creo que va a ser una gran pelea.
It's going to be a great fight. I'm very excited about this opportunity to fight Sebastian Fundora. I'm excited. I'm raring to go, and I think we are. It's a fight that could steal the night on May 1st. Very much thank you to Jorge Cota. Sebastian, final comments.
Yeah, like he said, this fight's gonna be a war. I expect him to bring fireworks like myself, and I hope the fans get a great live show, because boxing's live again in LA, and it's a great feeling, and I'll see you guys there.